the average house in Brazil to buy is like $200,000, like maybe even less. I mean, that's like a nice house. An average house in America is 4 or 5. So it's like, you see a lot more foreigners in the sport. And you're like, why are there more foreigners in the sport? America's pussies. And like, no, because they can afford it. You go and you fight. They're signing guys at 10-10. Like literally 10-10. Like 10-10 on 4 fights, man. In 3 fights you get cut. So they sign these Brazilians, these daggies, what the fuck you want to call them. They go home with their 20K and they're living life good. How do you live on 20K and 20K
and pay your manager and pay your trainers and pay your gym fees and food and proper nutrition?
So again, I think that's also a big reason why we're seeing less Americans, because they're taking our jobs. Like, fuck, dude. Like, it's easier to import them, man. It's easier to import fighters, and they go back home to Dagestan, Brazil, and they live on their, let's just say they make shit money, they're happy.
Well, it's also who's talented and why are they so driven, and who's training them, and what kind of environment are they
America's the
in.
best. We have the best athletes in the world, man. If there was like NFL money in the UFC, again, people think that I hate on UFC, dude. I make more money in the UFC than I should make in my entire fucking life. Like I am a fucking company man. Like if it wasn't for the UFC, bro, I'd be a piece of shit. I'd be a fucking drug addict. But if there was NFL money in the UFC, we would dominate the UFC. There would not be one foreign fucking champion.
But do you think that a lot of those guys who play sports, like they play football or they play, basketball, do you think they would want to fight? Because you have to have a very different kind of mentality to want to get into a ring or a cage with another man. It's different than playing a sport.
If it was
the pressure, the consequences.
If it was a high school thing and you could go get a D1 scholarship and you could leave the ghettos by being an MMA fighter, 100%. 100% they would do it. Fuck yeah, man.
So how do we fix that?
Like money in the UFC? I don't know. You know more about that than me.
Well, there's money in the UFC for guys like you.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
money in the UFC, but that's also in boxing. The UFC is better than boxing when it comes to how undercard fighters get paid.
Again, and this is, I'm a company man when it comes to UFC, you guys. Like most guys, like even if they make fucking 80K a year, 90K a year, that's better than what we should have made. I'm a fucking loser. But how do you fix it, man? I don't know. I don't think it needs to be fixed.
Well, it's better now than it's been before.
UFC, let me just say, UFC has the most pay discrepancy. Like when you're talking about like top earnings to lower earnings, I think UFC probably has the most. I think
boxing is worse.
Well, boxing's worse, but I mean, we could say let's exclude boxing. But like, there's way more money at the top and way less trickle down. But I don't give a fuck.
But it's so hard to get to the top. I mean, imagine just trying to explain to someone what you've done to become a top contender.
You only need to have one fuck up, one slip up, one mistake, 2 bad losses, an injury.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, dude, guys. I'm not like, even though we're fucking whores, dude, we're prostitutes. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We take our fucking clothes off and go fight a man. Like, come on, dude, what the fuck?
But it's not. Because,
it's like porn.
But it's also the ultimate form of entertainment for people that are watching. There's nothing more exciting.
Oh, yeah, good fight, man. Gaethje versus Chandler.
Your fight this weekend, when you started turning it on in the second round, I was at the fucking edge of my seat. Yeah. I was like, he's got him.
Yeah. But like Gaethje versus Chandler.
Oh, my God.
That was front row in that one. Ugh.
Insanity.
Fucking lost short in their life on that one.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not one of those guys bitching and complaining about pay. I get paid good money. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be making what I'm fucking making in life. UFC gave me an opportunity, and you don't know how many UFC is a common man sport right now. Fucking Jamie, if he wanted to, he could train. It's probably not going to happen, but he could be in the UFC if he wanted to. Anybody could do it. You let me restart my life and tell me to go be in the NFL, probably not going to happen. Go be in the NBA, 100% not going to happen. UFC is a common man sport. Any person on this planet could wake up one day and be like, I want to be a UFC champion, and they could get it done. Yeah. I mean, not that easy, but you know.
Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, man. UFC's fucking great, dude. It's the best sport in the world, and anybody could do it.
Well, it's not for everybody. That's for sure. And for a guy to get as far as you've gotten, it's the rarest of the rare. I mean, you think about how many people are training, how many people have aspirations, and then filter them all out to how many people get to headline a main event.
Ideally, though, if I could talk to a kid and they were to tell me they want to be a UFC fight, tell them don't do it. Don't.
Yeah, I would say that too.
It's so much. It's America. It's so easy to make.
Unless you're fucking completely fully obsessed. I mean, unless that's what you want to do, that's the thing you think about all day long. Because if you don't, there's someone out there that does.
And there's a lot of UFC fighters, guys, that suck. Like, there's a lot of motherfuckers that suck. Like, I mean, I get so extreme is like open doors. Anybody could come. Guys are in camp. There's some guys that are badass, but there's some UFC fighters. I'm like, dude, you fucking suck. How the fuck did you get here? Like, what short notice fight did you get? Like, you are a sacrificial lamb.
Well, there's definitely a few of those.
Oh, there's a lot of those in the UFC. A lot of those.
That's a weird one. The short notice fight against the top contender. Like, you see some of those every now and then. You're like, Jesus.
Generally, that's how you get in the UFC, though. You
Yeah.
generally get in the UFC by. I mean, I think I took a 2-week notice, a week notice on my first UFC fight, and that's why if you're not in the UFC, you got to stay ready. You got to be able to make weight. You got to stay fucking ready. But yeah, man, greatest fucking sport in the world, dude.